Near mint condition, the home of collected editions. And check out that eye, that's exactly what we want to see. Woo, look at that panel, baby. And that, as they say, is that. Hey, all you minties, Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions, and join me today for my overview of the Void Rivals Deluxe Edition Book 1 hardcover from Image Comics. So let's take a look at this book together. And welcome back, everybody. Before going any further, a big thank you to the folks at Skybound for sending us a copy of this hardcover. This hardcover is available everywhere in the direct market and book market, and what we're looking at here is the standard edition cover. This is the one that features the character of Deluxe. Now, there is a direct market cover on the left-hand side, and that is featuring the character of Solila. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I could be completely wrong. But both of these covers are identical on the inside. It is just the way that the books look on the outside, much like they did with the Transformers Deluxe Editions Book 1. And speaking of Transformers, I did want to show you what it looks like right next to it. It has the same design right here, this frame around our main protagonist there of Deluxe. And then, of course, Kirkman, the Felici, Lopez, the Pelkey, and Void Rivals Book 1. And also the way that the G.I. Joe book looks, and I'll be doing an overview of that book in another day. So what I wanted to really show you all is how the spines of the books look together, because this is all one shared universe and not everybody has to get everything, right? There are people that love Transformers and only get that with a little bit of taste of G.I. Joe. There are only people that love G.I. Joe and just want to get that with a little bit of taste of Transformers. What does that mean? I'll explain here in a little bit. And then there's Void Rivals, this new book by Kirkman that has perhaps maybe a little taste of both in there. But this is what they look like. Image logo, Void Rivals, Kirkman, De Felici, Lopez, and De Pelkey. And that image again of our protagonist, Book 1. And then, of course, the EU right there. And the backs of the book right here. The Energon universe starts here. And then this symbol that becomes really important, some frames from inside of the book, Skybound logo, Image logo, and Hasbro logo. These two here on the right are the standard edition cover that are available everywhere, by the way. While the Starscream cover over here is the direct market cover. But as I mentioned, everything is the same underneath the art on board. So much like the Transformers, you do have a foil finish to it right here. This frame has a foil finish to it. The Void Rivals. The main character of Deluxe right here is glossy, while everything in the back is flat. Void Rivals, EU, Book 1, all of it has that foil finish. And then even that symbol has a foil finish to it, while the frames around the pictures have that foil finish to it. And this has been available before in a series of 2 different trade paperbacks, but this is a deluxe hardcover, so it is taller, just like the rest of the deluxe hardcovers. All right, we are going to open this book up and talk about the type of stories found in here. What exactly is this? Why is this the beginning of the Energon universe? And of course, look at the artwork and the extras in the back. Okay, let's go ahead and get this book opened. Here is that symbol again. What the heck is that? All will be revealed. Void Rivals, created by Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici. And here we have the credits written by Robert Kirkman. Lorenzo De Felici is the artist, with Mateos Lopez on those issues right there. Patricio De Pelkey doing the colors. And then Russ Wooten doing the lettering there. And collected in here is Void Rivals 1 through 12 and material from the Energon Universe 2024 special. The book has 280 pages and retails for $49.99. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just say spoilers, because this is the beginning of the Energon universe. You could probably put 2 and 2 together, how things are connected. I'm not going to go into too much detail as to the exact way things are connected, but kind of give you like a broad summary of what this book is about and how it all started and how big of a shocker it was that it started with this book of all things. So this book, before I even talk about the plot, originated in, I think it was in 2023. It debuted on Free Comic Book Day, and then June 14, 2023, the first issue came out. And people lost their minds online because there were rumors, and some of us knew who the new license holder of Transformers was going to be, but it wasn't 100% sure for everybody, right? Like, there were rumors, and then sure enough, this book came out and solidified who the new license holders of the Transformers franchise was going to be. Everybody thought it was going to be either Dynamite or Marvel, or even DC. I saw so many rumors, but some people were right. And it was just interesting to see how it all played out. All right. So how is it tied together? What does that mean? So we start off with Deluxe, who crash lands on this planet. This could be a planet, could just be a floating meteor or asteroid. He is an Agorian pilot. And during this time, the Agorians are in a huge battle with their enemy, the Sortanians. And they're all battling out because there's something that is destroying their world, but they are at odds with each other, don't know much about each other. So he crash lands here. His ship is completely unrepairable. He has a handroid that he's talking to, and the handroid's this glove that he puts on, and it talks to him. Now, at first, you think you're looking at somebody that is a synthetic being, an android or something, but there's more to it than that. And then we meet the other character. So we've seen this kind of plot before. This is Solila, and she's the Sortonian pilot. Yeah, Sortonian, that's how it is. And she's a little bit more than that, though. And of course, these are 2 enemies that have crash landed on the same planet, both of their ships completely unrepairable, and they're still trying to kill each other. So they finally decide to work with each other when Solila ends up finding a working ship, maybe something that they can use to put a spaceship together and get off of this rock that they're just floating on. And they're just at odds with each other, and you can see like the turmoil, or I guess that inner turmoil, that enemy mind kind of story at first. And you're like, okay, this is going on for 12 issues. I know where this is going to end. They're going to be friends. What people didn't expect was when she comes running and she's like, yo, I found a ship that we can use for parts. And, you're looking at the ship, and a lot of us that grew up in the 80s, right, immediately knew. We were like, wait a second, what? And then this particular ship transforms, and it is revealed that it's none other than Jetfire, who crash landed on this rock many, many moons ago, and he's looking for his friends. He wants to know how long he's been here, and he's got to make it back to Cybertron. Now, if you've read the Transformers Deluxe Edition Book 1, you do know that Jetfire makes an appearance there, but when does this take place? That's very vague at first, and then later on you start finding out more and more clues as to when exactly this takes place. Does it take place before the Transformers comic, or does it take place years in the future? Because most of this is made up of Season 3 characters, and that's why a lot of people, including myself, really enjoy this series. Now, I'm not going to go too much into big, like, spoilers, but the next part is kind of a spoiler when it is finally revealed that both of them, when they take their helmets off, that both The Rock and Solila look almost identical. Their skin tone is very similar. They're human type of characters, or humanoid type of characters. The only difference is that they have different symbols on their forehead. So that opens up the door as to what exactly have these people been fighting for. Why are they fighting this enemy that looks like them? And then, of course, The Rock talks about a vision that he had. Now, we see this symbol a lot. And that symbol, as it turns out, is this black hole that is trying to absorb their planet, and that's why these people have been at civil war with each other in a way to kind of control their planet. So you have like half the side here and half the side over here fighting for control over everything, while both of the species are kind of being destroyed at the same time, and they have no clue as to what they look like. But is that really true? Does no one really know what each other look like? Or is it just the new warriors or the new generation that are going up to fight? Anyway, so you have the Agorians and you have the Zertonians over here. Zertonians. And he's like, this is crazy. And she's like, why are we fighting each other? So there's a lot of questions being asked. So eventually they do end up getting off of the ship, but then they get followed by none other than this guy right here, Skuxoid. Remember when I said season 3 characters? That's right, Skuxoid is a character that shows up, that takes them there, and he takes them to his ship, and he makes them a promise that he's going to let them go as long as they give up somebody that they've helped free. And who they've helped free is this creature right here, which, if again, season 3, Transformers, Quintesson, right? So more and more you're finding out, what does this have to do with Transformers? Like, what is going on? What is this big giant war that's taking place around a black hole? The visions that the character of The Rock is having. What does all of it have to do with Transformers? Believe it or not, it has a lot to do with it. It has to do with the Quintessons. And more you'll find out, like, perhaps the Zertonians and the Agorians haven't been honest with everybody. That perhaps some of them know that they look the same and they're fighting for absolutely no reason. Or perhaps there is a reason why they're fighting. So that's what this main story focuses on, is these two characters. So Leela and The Rock. And how they kind of go back and forth whether they should trust each other or not. And there are a lot of surprises here too, because one of the things that you'll end up following is not just their adventure, but from time to time, it'll go back to Skuxoid and what he's doing. Like, he's trying to make a deal with the Quintessons. And what he gets out of this and what eventually happens is both kind of sad and holy crap. I can't wait to read what happens next with these characters and how their lives are going to be interwoven around each other. I love that about these kind of stories, that one action has a reaction for everybody else. One action has a huge outcome for another part of the story. There are other surprises to be had here. This is one of my favorite moments here, when he is having a flashback and looking at what perhaps is that symbol, that black hole, and then where they are headed right here. And where they are headed is their destiny, their future. He has a vision, and she has been given a mission to do something that perhaps there are other Agorians that can help them out. And who they meet here in the Wasteland and who ends up going after them, this character named Proximus, that becomes a lot of fun and a lot of what I enjoyed about this particular comic that is so different than Transformers that's going on and so different than G.I. Joe, yet kind of ties a lot of these things together. And the mystery as to why these two group of people are fighting is revealed as you go through the book, and then who perhaps is involved and what it has to do with not just the Transformers but also the Quintessons. Yeah, Proximus is a badass right here who perhaps has ties to one of these characters. But that's all I will say and show. I want to go to the back here to talk about the pitch here. So apparently this pitch was sent to Hasbro first, and this is how it all began with Void Rivals and how they were going to unveil the Energon universe. And I do want to show you the covers too. I just want to make sure there are no spoilers on the covers because I want people to be genuinely surprised. Now that you know that Transformers appear through here and I've given a hint as to season 3 characters, I want people to genuinely read it and go, oh, that's who shows up through here. Okay, that's kind of cool. Let me make sure that everything's okay. By the way, only the main covers are collected. There are no variant covers that are collected. And as a matter of fact, you don't even see what issue number you are on. So very much like the collection of Transformers, the Deluxe edition, it's just the main covers that are collected and they're textless. All right, we're still good here. All right. And I had to skip the last few because it does reveal who else shows up through here. So let's look at the binding really quick. Talk about the build. 280 pages and printed in this thick glossy paper stock where you have no gutter loss and hardly any real bleed through happening, but map like the way that Kirkman likes his books. No covers, just broken up into 2 chapters because there are 12 issues collected in here. And that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this deluxe edition, don't forget to check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this book. In the comments down below, let me know which of the EU universe, well, that's redundant, EU, Energon universe books you're going to get, which ones you didn't even know about, and what you think of this era if you have read them. And if you're upgrading your trade paperbacks, or maybe even waiting for like a slipcase edition, like we've had of Invincible or Walking Dead. If you have any questions, leave those down below. Smash that like button on the way out. Everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.